Thomas Delonzo Baker. I hope I just didn't butcher that too bad. And Thomas, if you're available, would love to bring you on and have the opportunity to connect with you on a game plan while we're collecting questions. Thomas, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you. You did perfect on the last name.
All right. Awesome, brother. Well, listen, first of all, so the Zoom doesn't let me see all the faces, but I got to see your face the entire last hour and got to see that awesome, handsome smile. So it's great to connect with you and see you. How are you doing?
Great. I appreciate what you've done here, giving us the opportunity to see it. So, yeah. And I love what you say about your wife. I'm the same way about mine. I see you got 4 kids and I got 6. So you're a little nutty too. So
yeah, well, you're slightly nuttier. We wanted to have 2 more and we went for it. And God just said, keep trying and have some fun, but it ain't happening. So
well, we adopted the last 2. So I was like you too. I had 4, then adopted 2. There's other ways to have them besides that way.
I know. My wife and I are in the middle of adopting. My daughter brought home a friend this last month that's been hanging out with us every day. And turns out she comes from a very unsafe home. And my wife and I are struggling. Do we call protective child services? How do we just adopt this kid? Because she needs, she's just in a sad situation. And we're trying not to meddle, but it's just an unsafe home. And, along the way, you adopt some of these kids, some of them formal, some of them informal. And yeah. Well,
I can relate.
Brother, let's do your game plan. You ready for that?
I am. Yes. Thank you.
I see the apprehension. Are you okay?
No, I am. I'm in a stick. I talked to one of your people today and he's like, we need you to go over this, I guess. I said, can I talk to somebody else above it? And it's not in my bracket. And so I'm amazed to be here talking to you. So you'll be able to.
Brother, it's good karma. Let's come.
That's
Listen,
right.
Right now you own a company. Is that right?
Yes.
Bringing in around $375,000 a year?
Yeah. So I can break things down for you real quick here if you want me to.
Yes. I'm going to write them all down.
All right. So I pay myself out of the company $110,000 salary. This year I'll bring in $220,000 profit. I have investments with Grant Cardone that bring me in about $90,000 a year. And then my wife actually is an attorney, but she's a part-time kind of neat little mommy job, and she makes about 60. So you're sitting right close to 400 and some thousand dollars, 400,000. We are one of those people that I've got the old think in me, and I don't want to, but I've got a $1.5 million house that's paid off. I've got
Oh, sorry. Was that an inside?
You're going to scream.
We're okay. Sorry. I thought I kept that one inside.
No. You're going to scream.
Dave Ramsey right now is like, congratulations. Like, shut up, Dave. This is my show. Get the hell out of here.
You're going to beat me anymore in a second. And I have a beach house that's valued at $4.5 million.
Okay. Is it paid off?
It is.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's go.
Okay. You got that.
Okay.
So, and then I don't have other investments. I think there might be, my wife might have $100,000 in IRA, and then we've got probably about $350,000 in cash.
Okay. So first of all, I do want to say this. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. And I do have a strong philosophy that is all based on money performance. And you totally do come from an accumulator's mindset. And I want to be really clear on something. I've never met Thomas before, but Thomas had a choice in life, and it was either to be reckless with his money or responsible. And I just want to first of all acknowledge that you've built a net worth. You've got a great income, about $500,000 a year, $480,000 a year, and right now you have a net worth, probably around $6 million. So you've worked hard, and you deserve a round of applause for that, guys. Can we give Thomas a big round of applause? My wife is congratulating you and saying super awesome, and I just want to say you've done great. And I'm going to show you a world of different options. And the reason why these options exist is because you've been a great accumulator. So I'm going to show you a whole new world, my friend. And you can't do it all at once because it's so big, but you basically take it down. And let me ask, how old are you right now? And when do you want to be done working?
I'm 56. I have a 10-year-old, so 10 to 23.
Okay, you're good.
I'm never going to be done working.
Yeah, you're going to keep it young. I love it.
I want to, but I would like to have more. I have a wonderful job. I'm the 10,000 hour guy that does helps people get rid of pain and stuff with a neat thing. So I love what I do.
Yeah.
It's just now I'm at the stage that I know I want to create things for my children to be better, generational wealth and stuff like that. So
Beautiful.
yes, you're right. My wife and I have done really good as far as accumulating. We're there, and we that's why we invested with Grant. We're like, we got this money sitting here. And so then I'm at the point now that I too have looked into, some private equity stuff. And like I said, and I ran across your stuff, and you just seem to be doing so much of everything. And I was like, wow, I love that opportunity too.
Well, we're going to dive in. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be constructive for a moment here, because I want everyone to understand why I'm saying the things that I'm saying. And I want to start with this. I'm not right. I have my own financial philosophy, and I'm the guy you go to if you say I need performance on my money, because here's what I want to point out about Thomas. Right now, he works and his wife works, and they work for money. And here's my assessment. They work for money, but money doesn't work for them. So what I mean by that is their house is paid off, but it doesn't make them money. Their beach house is paid off, and it's not making them money. They have an IRA, they have cash, but it doesn't make them money. So what they have is $6 million in assets that are giving them nothing. They do have an investment with Grant that pulls in $90,000 a year, but that's it. That's the only performance that they have. So they live in a world where their safety is constructed around accumulation, and most people by 56 can't accumulate $6 million. So you've been, brother, very blessed. You've used your skills and your trades and your knowledge to build a beautiful business, and you've done good things. If you want to build lasting wealth and legacy, we now have to start getting into the game of how do I produce performance? And the other question is, how do I straddle that with doing it as safely as possible? Because there's a reason why accumulators don't take risks. You see, you didn't take risks because you were able to accumulate enough. And here's what you technically could do. And I want to run this math for everyone because I want you to know how to do this. Let's just say that Thomas had a change of heart. God came down and a pillar of light and said, brother, I need you to be done working because I have a different mission for you. So he's like, oh no, I'm going to lose my $420,000 a year income. And oh no, my wife's supposed to be retired. We're losing her $500,000 a year. So here's what they would do. They would say, well, we can sacrifice the beach house. We can always Airbnb something different. We don't have to own a $4 million beach house. We do like our house. We want to keep it. So we'll stay there. But we're going to basically take the beach house. We're going to take the other $500,000. We got $4.5 million. We're going to liquidate it. There's some costs in doing that. So now you got $4.1 million. And you go to your financial planner, and your financial planner says, excellent, I can annuitize this. And you go to them and they're going to say, okay, let me just hand out my calculator. I want you to all do this math. You're going to put in how much total assets that you have that you could give to them. That's I'm calling it $4.1 million. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply that times by 0.04. Now they're not going to give you 4%. It's going to be more like 3.6 or less. But if I do that, they're going to take that $4.1 million and turn it into $164,000 a year. And the good news is you'll never lose your principal. Your principal will never be at risk. But the problem is you only replace not even a third of your income. And so it's like, what? I was way more successful than most people out there. Let's go more extreme. They trade their $1.5 million house for a $500,000 really nice condo in a master plan gated community. So let's just say that we actually have $5.1 million. And we give it to them and they annuitize it and they say, sorry, that's $204,000 a year. We know you were making $500,000, but we can only replace 40%, 38% of that money. And that's when you start saying, okay, I need to find a different path. And so now we're going to play with some alternatives. Do you mind if we just play and have some fun on this? Can we do that, Thomas?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm here for. Absolutely.
All right. We're going to start with some of the easy stuff, okay? Because I want everyone to understand that I'm aware you have sacred cows. Does everyone here know what a sacred cow is? Like that beach house. I'm just kind of curious, how sacred and sentimental is your paid off beach house, Thomas? Never mind. I got the answer right there. Did you hear it?
No, it's sellable. It's sellable.
No, it's not sellable. We don't have to sell it. We don't have to sell it. Because, but I wanted to know, guys, so part of the problem with being an accumulator and also being emotional is that we actually then don't allow our money to perform because the emotions are making our choices instead of just letting money agnostically do something. In my world, I don't have a beach house. I'm not telling Thomas not to, but I want to tell you why. It's because I believe in owning as few things as possible because I want to be as free as possible. You see, it's a nice beach house in a nice location. And if he wanted to rent it out for a week, what would someone pay? $5,000, $10,000? If they wanted to access that for a week, what do you think someone would pay?
It's anywhere between 56 and 7,200 bucks, depending upon.
For a week. Okay, so it's like, shoot, would I rather have $4 million performing? And then I'm like, let me ask you, Thomas, how many weeks a year do you like to use your beach house?
We go from June 10th to August 10th.
Okay, so June, July, August 10th. So that's 3 months, right? So we got
2 months. 2 months.
2 months, sorry. So we got 9 weeks. And so I'm going to take 9, I'm going to multiply that by a high of 7,200, and it would be $64,800 for him and his family to access that beach house for 2 months out of the year. And now I have to ask myself, would I rather have $4 million performing for me and then have enough performance that I can spin off $64,000 for this beach house or any beach house in the world? And now all of a sudden we're starting to play a game called opportunity cost. So I'm sitting in a situation and I'm thinking, okay, well, first of all, he can keep the beach house, but for heaven's sakes, take $2 million out of it. I know it'll give you a mortgage, which gives you which takes away your peace of mind, but we're going to replace that with performance on the $2 million. $2 million is enough for me to go out and buy 40 homes. And I'm just going to run some ridiculous math. 40 homes, if I'm just doing what I do, guys, and I'm averaging 34% on that money, do you all know what happens to that? Each home produces $17.4 million. You guys wrote these numbers down over 20 years. And he wants to leave a legacy for his family. So I put $17.4 million. I'm going to multiply that by 40 over the next 20 years. That grows to $696 million. Now I'm kind of curious. Would you like to still own the beach house, but grow a $500 million net worth as a legacy play for the next generation, turn it into an endowment fund, every year have it spin off millions of dollars to charitable foundations of your choice, give your children opportunities to be able to earn some of that, use some of that, do some other great good in the world? Like, is that something that interests you and your wife?
Yes, you say that, like we want to accumulate, which we have. And the point is we are also risk takers, but we didn't know who to go to and stuff. So it's
okay. I'm not trying to throw you totally under the bus either, Thomas.
No.
I'm being so one-sided. I know you so little.
I love the idea. I mean, like I said, I'm in it for my kids right now. So
Now here's the cool thing. Like, he doesn't have to do something extreme like go and buy 40 homes. Look at how much money he can create over the next 20 years. But here's some very easy moves that he could move into right now. The $350,000 cash, some of that is sleep well at night money for him and his wife so that they and their family can have some peace of mind. Here's my question. What's the minimum you need in emergency that your wife sleeps well at night?
I keep $100,000, $150,000.
Okay, so if there's 150, that means that there's $200,000 left there. There's 100,000 in IRA. And between the IRA, you got 100,000 in the IRA that you could push right into private equity. You got $200,000 that you could use to ignite a portfolio of 4 houses. And all of a sudden, if that's all you did 20 years from now, you're going to massively multiply your wealth. And we haven't even started looking at some of the other available equity that's here. Does that make sense?
Because what if I said this? You're taking me conservatively, and I want to push the other way.
Okay, well, can we go the other way for a moment?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it and go, no. If you sat there, don't take me as that conservative person. Take me as the guy. Because like when I was talking to you personally,
I'm going to give you both.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you both. I got $5.1 million. If I put $4 million into real estate and I put $1 million into private equity, actually, I'm going to play it a little different. I'm going to put $3 million into real estate. I'm going to put $1 million into private equity, and I'm going to put $1 million into business. And what I'm talking about are buying absentee owner businesses that produce cash flow. And so we're going to play this distribution game. So $3 million gives me the position to buy 60 properties. Those 60 properties at my ROIs, that's $1 billion. Over 20 years.
Nice.
This is where you become like Martha and like Martha, Give me the name Bruce Wayne, his parents.
John, right? No.
No, jeez.
Oh, what's his name?
Batman's mommy and daddy had a lot of money that they left little Brucey.
It's Martha and something.
It's Martha and something. I know someone's going to drop in the chat like, unique and poop.
Thomas.
Thomas. Is it
Thomas
Thomas?
Wayne.
It's Thomas Wayne. Thomas Wayne is a billionaire in 20 years from his $3 million put into real estate. That's so ironic. Then there's $1 million that goes into private equity. I'm not even going to calculate that number because it will scare you. But you put $1 million, and over the next, you put, let's just say you put $250,000 into 10 companies every year for 4 years. So it takes you 4 years to divest that into a total of 40 companies. If you have 8 or 9 of those companies that end up producing between a 20x and 100x return, that $1 million, that's going to turn into strong 9 figures. Okay, I'm just going to have you write down 9 figures. And then we got $1 million in business, and it's like, why that? Well, let's just say he bought 3 traditional businesses. It was $300,000 down on each one of them, and each business conservatively produced 100% cash on cash return. Like, for example, I'm into franchises. So there's I know the owner of the company, Melty. They have these franchises. You put up 100 grand. You make 100 grand every year on each one of them. You put $1 million. Like, I would diversify, but just for math's sake, if I bought 10 of them and I put $1 million out and I made 100% on it every year, then I have $1 million a year of income, and it's like, oh, I better love what I do that's paying me $480,000 a year, because now I'm passively pulling in $1 million a year playing the game different, and I'm recuperating my time. And I want to tell you something. You love what you do, Thomas, which is super, super special. But until a person has the kind of money, when you have passive income of $500,000 or $1 million coming in, then I'm actually going to find out how much you do or don't love your work. Because something happens. We have to sell ourselves a story that we love what we do because we have no other option. But the moment I've doubled your income without you needing to work, that's when you're actually going to realize what you love in your company and what you don't. And here's what most entrepreneurs do. They hire CEOs and they get out, or they stay on for 5 hours a week to do just the parts they love the most, and then they hire a CEO and they get out. You never really know who you truly are until you don't have to work for money because money works for you. And when that happens, you unmortgage your life, that's when you're going to discover, what does Thomas do with his other 40 or 50 hours a week? How does he invest in his family different? What are the other things that he does with his life? What is the greater Thomas Wayne impact that the world is waiting to experience? You can become a dreamer all over again, an inventor. You can start curing parts of the world from medicines that need to be distributed. Like whatever you want becomes possible. And I know that you're already living this amazing life, but just even that fun distribution on 3 here, 1 there, and 1 there is a fun game of, hey, real estate will take me all the way. Business will give me the cash flow I need. And private equity becomes the X factor of, oh my gosh, right? So there's your extreme game plan.
I love it. I love it. So that looks like awesome. How do I coordinate all that stuff?
Okay, it's very simple. Instead of, you literally become my partner.
All right.
You're going to talk to my team and ask about the private equity play, because you get deeper in my world, and then we start talking about business. I start looking at your business and talking about how you, like, what do you love and what do you do, and how do you start recovering yourself out of your business even though it's treated you really well. And we develop a relationship where we get to just play significantly deeper with each other. Okay. And my team will basically show you how all that works. And then systematically, bit by bit, line upon line, it's going to start with, okay, what moves make the most sense? Let's just start building the portfolio. Don't start with the beach house. Start with the cash that's sitting and collecting dust. Start with the IRA, and let's get something going. Let's also then get you educated on private equity, and then you'll be able to make those choices. And this is really good advice, Thomas. If you made all of these moves in less than 24 months, it's reckless. It is probably, for you with your number of assets, it is minimally a 36 and probably a 48-month process to divest and move money around responsibly, to be able to look back and say, hey, I went slow because Kris told me that was going fast. And so it will take some time, but you have enough money to become what's called a professional investor. And yes, there are ways of replacing your income. And then how you spend your time now becomes a new game and a new choice. So.
Kris, I work about 10 hours a week in my business, so I'm ready to play a new game with you. So,
All right, man, dude. If you're ready to play a new game, Thomas, I'm ready to play a new game with you, and we will get to play that game. I'm literally across the room. I've got Gage Levitt, which is the son of my CEO Trent from my social media company, and Gage lined me up and he whispered in my ear, says, Kris, make sure you mention private equity to Thomas, because if you don't, you might be disservicing him. And so Gage is the one that gets us all connected with each other and gets us chatting and talking and playing the game. So you've done well, my friend. You've got a world of possibilities. You don't need to understand it all. Now you can back down and say, okay, I know that I have billion-dollar potential as Thomas Wayne, and I'm going to start calling your new name is Thomas Name. Your last name is a little bit of a work. It's a piece of work. So I'm just going to take Delvonzo Baker and just change it to Wayne, and you're my new Thomas Wayne buddy.
there you go.
And
Hey, thank you for taking the time. I couldn't appreciate it, because I've been looking for a mentor, somebody to show me the way. So appreciate it.
You're very, very welcome. And brother, you're in a good spot. Do you have any last questions for me? And anyone in the chat, light it up if you have questions for Mr. Thomas Wayne.
I'm good.
Okay, real quick, with your 10-year-old son, this is my last piece of advice. If you and your wife take him to the theater and he doesn't like the show because it scares him, and you walk out into a back alley, go out the front door. Don't go out the back alley, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, can you guys do me a favor? Give Thomas a huge round of applause. Awesome, brother, man. I know what you're thinking. Not fair. I want to get a game plan too. I got news for you. It's your lucky day. I'm going to give you a game plan for free too. All you got to do is click the link below, request a free game plan. Let me hook you up.